Hi everyone, I'm Mary with Mary Greeley News. Thank you for joining me. I had reported, a week or so ago about an area of the San Andreas Fault Zone that is the most dangerous area to have an earthquake. It is a probability that this area, which is the Mission Creek Strand, it's a triple strand of the San Andreas Fault Zone, that when the big one comes will likely occur. There was a magnitude 2.8 in this location, and so far 21 people have reported feeling it. This earthquake occurred yesterday. I don't know how I missed it. Was busy, I guess. At 3:14 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Using Google Earth, here's an image of the Mission Creek Strand. You can see here how the fault line is moving. I'll zoom in. And then I'm going to come out. And like I said, I talked about these three strands that are really dangerous. We have the Banning Hill Strand. We have the Garnet Hill Strand. And in my video, I talked about how this town right here, when the big one occurs, they will be the first one to know. This is the city of Yucaipa. In 2010, it had a population of 51,367 people. I'm sure there are a lot more because, this is 2021 and that census was from 2010. Any earthquake has a 20% chance of being a foreshock for something much larger. Scientists used to say within a week, but now they've extended that to a year. The San Andreas Fault has the highest calculated time-dependent probability for a large magnitude earthquake in Southern California. However, where the fault is multi-stranded, east of Los Angeles metropolitan area, it has been uncertain which strand has the fastest slip rate and therefore which has the highest probability of a destructive earthquake. These data establish the Mission Creek Strand is the primary fault bounding the Pacific and the North American plates at this latitude, and implied that 6 to 9 meters of elastic strain has accumulated along this fault since the most recent rupture earthquake, highlighting the potential for a larger earthquake along this strand. Another paper dated in 2002 about the Mission Creek Strand. A lot of technical details here, and it says here, this suggests the southernmost San Andreas Fault Zone likely is very near failure. This fault line has accumulated over 29 feet in strain. That's going to be a big rupture. Although it's impossible to say exactly when it will occur, knowing where to expect it to burst to the surface is good news for geologists and hazard planners. Are they really planning? This strand runs from Indio to the San Bernardino Mountains. It was previously thought the Mission Creek Strand had been slipping slowly or was completely inactive. This was published the 29th of April of this year. I've talked about earthquakes and the strain and how they build up the pressure, how it causes mountain building. And when it snaps, it all drops down. That's what's going to happen along Oregon, Washington, for the Juan de Fuca Fault Zone when they have their big one along the Cascadia Fault Zone. I've talked about how this area is 350 years overdue for a large earthquake. The last time there was a major earthquake on this southernmost part was in 1726. The worst earthquake they could possibly have there in Southern California is if the fault line decided to rip, going from south to north. There would be a funneling effect going into downtown Los Angeles because of the mountains. Kind of like a water hose with a sprayer on the end. You clamp it down, and that at the end you have this full force of water coming out, and that's what would happen with the earthquake as it came up through the valley, along the mountains, between the mountains, and spread out through this area. Why does it matter about the strain? It means that the strain on the Mission Creek strand means that a future earthquake is likely to rupture on it. On April 4th, there was a 3.3 earthquake near the Garnet Strand. On April 30th, there was a 2.6 along the Banning Hill Strand. On the 30th of last month, just 6 days ago, there was a 2.6 earthquake in Yucaipa. That was probably the last video I did about this area. The City of Yucaipa disaster plan from 2020 has that for an earthquake, they know it's highly likely and it will be catastrophic for their city. Ground shaking from earthquakes can collapse buildings and bridges, disrupt gas, electricity, phone service, and sometimes trigger landslides, avalanches, flash floods, fires, and huge destructive ocean waves, tsunamis. Buildings with foundations resting on unconsolidated landfill and other unstable soil, and trailers and homes not tied to their foundations, are at risk because they can be shaken off their mountings during an earthquake. This paper also says there has not been a rupture of the fault along the southern end of the San Bernardino to the Salton Sea since 1690. So here is the image, a map of Yucaipa, and the probability within the next 30 years, and they just don't know when it's going to occur, of a magnitude 6.7 within the next 30 years. The probability exceeds 99%. Why don't they just say 100%? An earthquake of a magnitude 7.5 or larger is above 46%. This fault moved going from south to north, the worst direction for a fault line to rupture when it decides to have the big one. The first wave of the earthquake came from the southeast. Tension was applied going west. For some strange reason, most earthquakes happen at night. I have no idea why, but that's what the scientists say. Are you prepared? I certainly hope so. And if you're not, I really pray that you guys do get prepared for a large earthquake. What are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Please stay safe. And I will talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.